To the Football Exponential podcast. I'm Chika and I'm joined by Frank.
Hi, Chika. Welcome back to another episode of the show, guys.
Yeah, Frank, how was your day today? The week, there wasn't a lot of goals this week. And for the fantasy, the Haaland, Salah, Jackson, Palmer,
Cole Paul.
they didn't really
Yeah.
score goals this week.
See, on my fantasy team,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm managing that team the way Eric Ten Hag is managing Manchester United right now. I, I should be sacked. I should be sacked. I should be. It's because I looked at it a few minutes ago and I was like, I shake my like, no, this is terrible. This is the only saving grace in this week
Yeah,
for me was Saka. That's I should the decision making, the
yeah,
transfers,
yeah,
the
everything.
selection.
One player I have to look into is Baleba. The Brighton guy. I
Yeah,
hope he's still
Brighton.
cheap. I'll check his price because the way they play,
Yeah,
he might be cheap.
he's
Yeah. So
but okay.
let's go straight.
Let's dive into
Let's
the game.
start with Arsenal. So it's been like 3 games or so, and Arsenal haven't lost. I think they drew one with City without Odegaard. So and
No, Arsenal, they're unbeaten this season
no, I'm talking
in Premier
about they
League.
drew. Like they've had
Okay,
a
yeah,
good run
yeah,
of games. Even when he was out, people felt that that was the end of Arsenal season. So what can you say about them? They beat Southampton. Was it 3-1 or 2-1? Oh, 3-1.
uh, 3-1, 3-1,
3-1. Southampton opened the
3-1.
scoring. So do you really
Yeah,
think? And then he rotated his team. He rotated his team. But one thing I still find fascinating about us now, and people are giving excuses. They are doing so very well. But one thing I've had that in my mind, but really, but when I watch Aston Villa, I said I have to say this. I saw, is it Philogene or what is his name? The left
yeah.
sided.
Philogen, the left side attacking player,
Like,
Philogen. Yeah,
look at Villa, the substitute, the players they have. They have, what's that guy that played for Chelsea that refused to take a pay cut? I forgot his name. One Dutch player. They have his namesake in that team. They have so many players. I'm looking at us now. He's not really bringing the young players the way I expected. But that's a topic for another day. Maybe during the
yeah.
international break, we'll talk about that. So, what do you have to
Okay.
say about us now? Um, do you think they deserve the win?
Um. Yeah. I feel on the balance of play and the way the game went, that was 3 points well deserved for Arsenal. But from Arsenal, I feel the only concerning or the only point of worry has been like you look at it like this is another game at the Emirates coming off last week's win against Leicester City and against a newly promoted team, Leicester City and Southampton this weekend, where you go into this game and you expect it to be comfortable and like an easy game, like cause like I was talking to a friend on the group chat today about Chelsea's game, and he said that it's going to be an easy game today. I was like, no, 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 no. This is the Barclays Premier League. There are no easy games here. And I feel Arsenal they found out yesterday where they rotated heavily. Some French players. Sterling has his first Premier League start for Arsenal, and Jesus got to lead the attack as the number 9 today, and we can have it in midfield. I felt it was very disjointed. The first 15 minutes of the game, they were not really. They dominated the game in terms of the ball possession, but they weren't creating much. A lot of sloppy passes. It looked like a team that played in Europe in midweek and had rotated the lineup going into this game. But go down, go down, and from then on, it becomes the Saka show where you see Saka and Havertz. I feel Saka and Havertz on this day. You know my opinions about Havertz. I'm not really his biggest fan, but I'll give him the credit yesterday where he gets involved in the game, takes the initiative, tries to get things happening, starts demanding the ball, and they force the equalizing goal from a mistake from Southampton. What Southampton were trying to achieve at that moment in the game went with a goal up away at Arsenal, trying to be clever and cute, playing out of the back. I don't know, but Arsenal get the equalizer with Havertz, and Saka just goes into this mode where he's just. They'll say it's corner kicks. They'll say it's all this nonsense, but for me, he's fantastic. He's dynamite. So far he's been one of the best players in Premier League for the last 2 years. And it's not just in terms of his numbers or his goals or assists or whatever, but it's the way he takes charge of this team, the way he takes responsibility of this team, where everything. I feel every any good thing Arsenal have to do in a football match, it comes from Saka. Goal scoring, attacking, dribbling. It gets people off their seats. I
Permit me
said,
to say something. I'm a
yeah,
Chelsea fan, right? And I
yeah,
love Chelsea.
yeah.
But one thing people can argue, and I don't like to hear it, is that Palmer is a better offensive player compared to Saka, but not way better, slightly better. But in terms of all-round complete play, there is no better player in the Premier League than Bukayo Saka, and it
Saka,
makes me angry when people criticize him because look, if you look at stats alone, we can go back to the physical growth,
yeah,
and I see
we
people.
have the stats.
If you look at this guy's stats, if you look at his stats offensively, he's not way behind Palmer or Foden or whoever it is. But look at the defensive job that guy does, the interception, the recovery. He is an offensively skilled player that does a defensive job. Look at the first
And
goal
has yeah,
Arsenal scored.
yeah.
The way he intercepted that ball from, I forgot, one of Southampton defender, and then fed Havertz. You look at Chelsea, and that is the only problem. That not the only problem. That's the problem I have with Arteta, is that every offensive play has to come from Saka. With Chelsea, if you keep Palmer out of the game, Noni Madueke is doing his thing. You understand what I'm trying to say? For
Yeah,
Arsenal, I don't have
there are
that
a lot of,
luxury. Yeah, but the,
yeah,
the,
they
the
don't have.
kind of hate Saka gets, I don't know if it's envy. I don't just understand it.
No,
But
it's
he
it's
tells you,
it's
and Arsenal fans keep defending him. I'm like, these guys are hating on this boy. Don't spend. Chelsea fans attack him. Man, Saka is a star boy. I call him star boy. He's just he's on
how
another level.
he's.
Yeah,
No,
continue.
he's been. I feel for me, he's been one of the best players in European football for the last 2 years. And a lot of people say, oh, because sometimes we're a bit, um, it feels a bit reactive to say this, but with Saka, he's a player that has always, he turns up for Arsenal. He takes responsibility. He's in charge of this team in big games, for some big games, smaller games, against teams with low block on the counter attack, whatever way possible, he services his teammates and he pushes the club forward. And not just with Arsenal, but even with the England national team. We saw the recently at this Euros just passed, where US, you see England, they go into this tournament, Foden, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, all these attacking talents. This, because at then was the best player in Bundesliga, the best player in Spain, the best player in England. But when you get to the tournament, you have only one player that seems to be performing at anywhere close to his level for his club at international level, and he's been doing that for the best part of 2 years
Yeah,
consistently. Where
yeah.
the numbers match up. If you watch him, you see what he's doing. He's giving in terms of his dribbling, if he's shooting. He has different bow. He has different arrows in his bow. Where he's just an overall balanced player. Where and with the whole discussion with Palmer, I feel it's like, because I was having a discussion with a friend, like I feel what Palmer has done is, in terms of his numbers are so fantastic. You have to put him in this category with the best in the world, or best in Europe, or the best in the Premier League, because his numbers since he made his debut for Chelsea have just been eye catching. You
No,
just you can't you
I would
can't
say,
you,
sorry
you
to,
can't
I would say his numbers are not when I mean, I don't mean he's so good that if you look at those numbers, don't get me wrong, understand what I'm saying. You look
yeah
at Ronaldo's number, you look at Messi's number, you say it's not sustainable. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah
you don't mean, you are not predicting it. You are saying if this guy sustains this guy is something else. You look at Haaland. I'm not saying they won't sustain it. You understand what I'm trying to say? You look at Haaland.
yeah
You look at Haaland. You look at Haaland. You look at Palmer. You look at Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. You look at the other guy also, Messi. Those numbers are something else. Like Shearer had
yeah.
like they have those kind of numbers. Yeah.
So and it's but back to us. I feel they made the game a lot harder than it should have been, but they get the winning. They go 2-1 up with Saka with another fantastic assist for Martinelli and back post, who's found form in the last few weeks, where he's backs among the goals. Assists is looking more dangerous now in this Arsenal team. And Saka obviously gets the clinching goal to clinch it for them with the third one. But I just feel it's. I know Arsenal is starting fantastic. They're starting fantastic. It's been amazing for them. They'll feel. They feel they could have won all their games so far this season had it been for more more sensible referees in charge of certain games where they got certain players sent off. But I feel with Arsenal, it's just like with the Premier League. It's all about it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's how you go in, turn up, winning week in, week out, week out with injured players, suspensions, players out of form, and how you manage your form week in, week out. So I feel with Arsenal, it's so far it's fantastic for them. They started amazing, but I still feel my overall worry for Arsenal. I feel when it gets to that stretch, and you have to start relying on players like Jesus, Sterling, can they give you the solutions you need in that team? So far, it's been good. Like Calafiori has come in, it's been good in midfield. But I saw the I saw the lineup yesterday on Saturday, and I understand it's a lineup where you play where you have the Champions League games, a rotated side, but and they have a few injuries as well. But I
But
still feel
when you say the lineup was, those are fringe players, but Pep has those kind of lineup and they still play well. That tells you the gap between us, Pep, Manchester City, and
exact.
everybody else. Like Pep can
It's
change
just
for that is party.
it's,
It's not like he brought somebody that hasn't
there
been playing
was
here. Jorginho,
there was Partey at right back, Jorginho in midfield, Jesus and Sterling. Those four players are like, okay, this is like you're really digging, you're really scraping the barrel in terms of overall squad quality. I know these are experienced players and they performed at different points for Arsenal, but I just look at it like, okay, this might be a problem, and they'll say injuries, and I understand that's fair, that's a fair point to make, but I still feel to go 9 months, 9, 10 months, the Premier League, Champions League, and to go week in week out consistently against Man City, Liverpool teams. I just feel at some point this over reliance on certain players, Saka, Declan Rice, it will come back and affect Arsenal, impact Arsenal negatively going forward. But then again, you never know. But I feel because if Arteta has this good thing going on with Arsenal where he seems to squeeze out as much as possible from certain players and takes them over the edge in terms of the overall output and consistency. But for Arsenal, I think it's still happy days for them so far.
okay, that should be. I've said what I wanted to say about Starboy Saka. Whatever we talk about Arsenal during the international break. Let's go quickly to Chelsea. Chelsea Forest. It was a 1-1 draw. But it was impressive because Forest was one man down. It was like I feel it was Chelsea lost the game. No, it was as
Chelsea lost the points.
lost the point rather. But I understand. Don't get me wrong. Two things can be right. Chelsea lost the point. Also, if I'm a Chelsea fan or Chelsea coach, I'm also satisfied with the result because it's a process
Yeah,
they are building, right? But this is why
yeah,
I'm so impressed with Forest is that it was away in Stamford Bridge. That's one. Then two, the most important point, Chelsea's equalizer came in the 68th minute. So they had a
yeah,
long time. You understand what I'm trying to say? If
yeah,
equalizer
yeah.
comes in 80 minutes, it's short. So the momentum to me swung in the 68 minutes. So you have more than 25 minutes to get another goal, right? You get me? And they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get it. Okay. That's one. Then Forest was one man down. I think they had 30 minutes extra time. I don't know when they went down. But this is why I'm saying if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm not panicking. You look at what they played. If it was last season, Forest would never have achieved this result. This is
No,
in the
Forest. If last season Chelsea or Forest would have
no
not gotten
understand what
points.
I'm trying to say. Now you look at the way Forest is playing this season. They
Okay,
are
yeah,
more
yeah,
well drilled. They know what the manager is. The manager knows the players. You understand? Okay,
yeah,
let me give you
exactly,
an
yeah,
example.
exactly.
Let me give you an example. I looked at Morgan Gibbs out. I don't wish injury on anybody. But I looked at it. I said it might be a bad news for them, but it must also be a good news. What do I mean? Anderson can easily move to Morgan Gibbs' position, and Alanga moves on the other
Mm,
side. You get what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
And they are still good. Yes. So the
yeah.
point I'm trying to say is that they know what their manager wants. They can easily work towards getting it. They are well drilled. The instructions are there. Look at they might have one of the best centre back pairing in Premier League with Morila and Milokovic. What is his name?
Milenkovic, yeah,
Milokovic.
Milenkovic, yeah,
Because
yeah,
Morila
yeah,
is
yeah,
more
yeah,
action. Milokovic is the more you get what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. You look at Fulham now. Look at how they are playing. So these teams have coaches that have drilled. The only person that is not really doing well is Newcastle. Instead of going up, we can talk about them another time. So to me, Chelsea, this is the reason why Chelsea shouldn't be in the title race. But top four is sure. Look at what they are doing. They had the bench. The only bad news is if I'm looking at Felix, I'm asking Felix, Joao Felix, like you don't get game time, you get game time. Nkunku might have missed his chance, but after all, Nkunku has scored 3 goals, had a hat trick, and then two. He's been scoring. But Felix, this is the opportunity for you. That was a clean header, a clear header, and he missed it. But every other person, but high praise for Noni Madueke because I love his mentality when it comes to mentality, and that is why when Chelsea fans complain he's too selfish, I'm like, who cares? Like I don't care that Jackson doesn't shoot enough. Palmer doesn't even shoot, but he's more accurate. Fernandez hardly shoots. I don't know. They keep dressing. Gusto shoots, but Noni Madueke keeps shooting. So the same way Modric has to run on the ball or run with the ball because he has the pace, Noni should just keep shooting. Keep shooting is going to go in. So if I'm a Chelsea fan or Chelsea coach, I'm impressed with the team. We go again next time. It's a good result. Yeah. So I mean, the top four, every other person drop points. So that's all I have to say about Chelsea. What do you have to say about them?
Which I agree with a lot of what you said, and I feel it's important to not just dive into Chelsea. And we have to talk about Nottingham Forest, and this is a team that's gone to Anfield. This is kept a clean sheet and got 3 points. That's the only game so far where Liverpool failed to score in the Premier League, and they've dropped points this season. But I feel with Tottenham, with Nottingham Forest, it's a bit like Chelsea. So in the last 2 years, where is this they send a lot of players coming to the club. They've changed managers, but I think with this guy now, Nuno Espirito, a coach you like quite well, he's found the formula. He's found
Did you see where he
his
was praising Maresca? Did you see the clip?
yeah.
You didn't see
Oh,
the
no,
clip.
what do you say? No, I
He
didn't
said,
say that. I didn't say that.
I was surprised. He doesn't talk much. He's a
I
very
know,
quiet.
no, he's a very fiery coach, and you can see that with his team, where with Wolves and now with Nottingham Forest, where they are well organized. They carry a lot of attacking threats on the counter attack, and they have a few or certain players that can create out of nothing, like Elanga, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White. I feel like because what disappointed me from a Chelsea perspective was you've seen the tapes, you studied the tapes so far this season. You've seen how they attacked or how they set up against Liverpool. It was more or less the same structure. The back
Yeah,
five
yeah.
was the same, and they had a couple guys in midfield and the guy Chris Wood up top. You know how they're going to start. They're going to pack up the midfield, make it very tight, condensed, and carry counter attacking threats. But this is where if you have aspirations of where Chelsea are trying to go, you go into this game. It's not an easy game, but you have to go there and dismantle their blocks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have to dismantle it very slowly but methodically and quick. I feel Chelsea didn't start well. They didn't start
This
well at all.
happened. That's it.
They were very slow to seize the initiative in the first half, especially. So when you sort of waste the first half in trying to build your momentum, and also it's also important to state because like if you see most teams that played in Europe this past week, and how they performed in the Premier League, it was very like you see Aston Villa and Manchester United. I will talk
Mm.
about where it was very slow. There
Yeah,
wasn't a lot of
yeah,
actor. A lot wasn't happening. Then Arsenal's performance against Southampton, even Man City were a bit leggy
yeah, yeah,
in their
yeah, yeah.
performance and Tottenham as well. It's a team where those like with Chelsea can afford to make 11 changes and swap out players in and out, but it's just the overall nature of the game where you play on Thursday, recover on Friday, maybe probably train on Saturday, then you're back in on Sunday against a team that's had a whole week to prepare. So it's one of those things. That's where you sometimes where experience of playing in Europe and playing in Premier League comes in, where certain players okay they know how to increase the tempo, put their foot on the gas, and just step things up. But I feel like in the second half, just they're obviously going to go down. But I feel like the overall reaction to the going to go down was quite positive. Where they started, they got a goal quite fairly quickly. Maduke, there's a lot of discussion on Maduke on socials where I feel most of the discussion is there's an underbelly of racial connotations going there where this whole Maduke,
But why do people comment
gang
on people
lifestyle.
private life? Like, Let him live
it's
his
social
life.
media.
It's so bad.
It's social media. I always tend to judge players I watch on their performance on the pitch. That's all. And for me, it's easy to see. Like this Madueke is the player that I believe the coach loves a lot. Because right from preseason up until now, Madueke has started. He started a lot of the
But
preseason games.
he has some racial something attached to it.
There's the direction that was
Ramos wasn't loved on the field.
yeah.
But he
But it's
wasn't
this.
called a mafia. You understand a mafia? You get what I'm trying
Exactly,
to say? Like,
exactly.
why is it that when the black person is different, or maybe some Hispanic people, let's say Mexicans, you say you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So I feel that that side is getting very is a side that I think people need to start talking about more to dispel of that narrative that he's because I see him, this is a player that I see him he for by all accounts he trains well.
yeah,
He has all the tools. He has all the tools to be a fantastic footballer. He has the pace. He has the shooting. He can shoot off both feet. Can dribble. So it's and when you see like with the variety of options Chelsea have in attack, it's quite easy to just take him out, bring in Neto or put in a Mudrik or Felix or Kuku. You find out you make it work. But with Madueke, and it's also important to state that his partnership with Palmer on that right hand channel, it's probably one of Chelsea's best attributes so far this
yeah,
season.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
they have this telepathic understand where either one goes long, one comes short, or one comes short, gets the ball. He can find the other player in those pockets of space, making the run off the ball or cutting back. They find each other quite well. That's a very good dynamic they have going on. So when people say, "Oh, he should be dropped," I was like, "Okay, but fair, he should be dropped." But he does a lot of things right. Like we talked about Saka, where he's tapping into this game where he understands I'm an attacking outlet, but I also have responsibility going back. And we see even again last week where you're up against one of the best left backs in Premier League, Pervis Estopian at Brighton, where on that day Madueke keeps him quiet because I even he keeps Matoma quiet on that wing of them because whenever he had to go back and do his defensive duties as well and cover with gusto down that flank. So he's a very promising player, and I'm very happy he's part of the England national team now, where he's getting that exposure, he's getting that experience with the international team, and he's developing into a good player. And for me, it's a player I see a lot of positives. And for me, it's a player I see, okay, you know what? This is where you are now. To go to that level, and the level, I mean, the Saka level, the Salah level, that level where you are regarded as one of the best. You have to start doing it week in, week out.
But
You have to start,
he's
you have to start making,
he's so good to me. Like you said, I just remember something. He's so good to me. I know you disagree with me. If I'm the England coach, if I'm the England coach, and I'm starting the team, I don't know about Kane. Depends. I can drop him, but Watkins steps in if I'm dropping him. But Bellingham is not playing in attack for me. I'm starting
especially,
Saka. I'm playing my Saka on his position on the right. Palmer in that position as a number 10 behind Kane or whoever is in front. Then Adam, that Gordon, the Newcastle guy, is starting on Anthony Gordon
Anthony Gordon.
is starting on the left for me because if you have Gordon and you have Saka creating havoc for you on the wings is very difficult to mark. Madueke is a natural replacement for Saka if I'm picking him off. I'm bringing like for like to disturb the defense. And Foden and Palmer as center. I'm moving Bellingham to play in deep midfield with Rice. Meno is on the bench. I play Bellingham and Meno, but I'm not playing in that position.
Yeah, but yeah, I
I'm,
think
I'm,
I think it's something because with this new England or interim England coach, where I won't be surprised if he gets the job full time and he starts to build his team going forward. I won't be surprised if we see England line up with a version of a force or a force number nine with either Foden or Palmer because that's what I know it's a very small sample size and it's also a very different sample size. But when Lee Carsley was head coach of the England under 21 at the Euros, they won. I believe last 2 summers ago with England, he played. He had this formation where he played with two number tens centrally and no striker. Or you have two wingers, two central midfielders, and two withdrawn number tens. That was Cole Palmer, Morgan Gibbs White, and Anthony Gordon sometimes, where he didn't really
I
play.
forgot Gibbs White.
So,
Jesus Christ.
he didn't really play. No, England have a lot of options in that position.
Yeah.
So
And
they
I
didn't
better
really,
chase
he
it
didn't really
also.
exact. So he didn't really play a traditional number nine. And this is with Kane's overall, I would like to say, issues in terms of his performances with
What of
England or
the
performances
one
in
in Leo?
Leo.
Angel Gomez.
You know, yeah,
Is
Gomez
it
was one
that
of the players
position
as well in
also?
midfield.
Is it deep
No,
or
he was in midfield. No, he was deep in midfield. So it was more like it was a 4-2-2-2. So it was Gomez in midfield alongside I think Jacob Ramsey, but it was a very attacking lineup, but they didn't have a traditional number nine. It was very fluid, a lot of movement, but it's something where I feel he's trying to get that understanding with certain players that have, like you see Palmer and Madueke, we have that relationship from even way back then. Levi Colwill as well was part of that team. Anthony Gordon, he's trying to bring those players, but also add the likes of Foden, Saka, and Palmer, and Andrew Bellingham. So I won't be surprised if we see a front three of Anthony Gordon, Palmer, and Saka, and the midfield of Bellingham, Foden, and say a Declan Rice or Kobe Meno, and you have one of those fullbacks inverting into midfield. Because the good thing with like England's games in this Nations League, it's against
yeah, yeah.
lowly sized opposition, Finland, Greece. I know it will be a tough game away at Greece because of the environment and the nature of that fixture. But I feel it's a fixtures where you can experiment and try and just get more players into that team
Yeah,
that can
even when
keep the
you play
ball
home against
and
those
create
teams,
chances.
you can start with a young
So
boy in second half. I don't know why they think
exactly.
they full squad
So it's
everything.
but no, but I feel like even like with overall, I feel it's something that should be like the head coach and the Arsenal coach they should find a compromise. Okay, you're going for international break. Last time we went for international break, you took Saka, Kopama and Foden stayed at home. Can you leave Saka home this time? Let him rest. Because Saka is always playing games. He's
I'm scared.
always
I'm
playing
scared for
games.
his career. I won't lie.
So
If you give me to if
it,
you ask me, I'll think him. I think he might end up like Fabregas and Rudy that ended up playing. They are
I
using him too much. He
but
plays the
look,
League Cup.
but
He needs rest.
but to be fair, there's one thing he has that these two players didn't have, and Saka is Saka is he let's say he is Paladium if you know.
Oh,
If you understand, you understand. So,
yeah,
so he's
yeah, 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 yeah.
so it's a Panajam boy. It's not. So I feel like I feel okay, but I feel you have to be. But seriously, I think you have to be very smart with all this in terms of how you manage players. Okay, this is you leave Saka at home. You try the likes of Palmer, Jude, Foden, Gordon, and see what you can get. Because if you can't really beat the likes of Finland or Greece without Saka, then then you have bigger issues. So, well, back to Chelsea. I feel I think Madueke had a good game. Levi Colwill is growing, is slowly or is growing into a replace, or is having that impact or that the impact Thiago Silva had with Chelsea team, where he's someone like the leader in the team. He has that authority about him, where he controls the back line, has good relationship with the teammates. He motivates, he carries the team, and I feel overall he's been a fantastic defender in the Premier League season. His passing, his clearances is very solid. Like there was a block he had in the first half, or was in the second half of this game where that was Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva like the block, but I feel the authorities as which he's playing at right now is good. Um, Another one was I feel at some point we have Enzo Fernandez discussion in terms of what exactly
That's
does
okay.
what exactly is happening. I'm not saying he didn't really he wasn't today wasn't one of his best games, but I think it was a hard game for a lot of people in a lot of players of Chelsea today. So I'm not really going to single him out, but I feel with Chelsea, I just feel in terms of long term vision and long term planning, it's getting. I feel the club that are fully aware of this, where it's one of those games you just have you can't help but wonder is if we had a striker like Danny Welbeck, Chris Wood,
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of profile.
No, we need that second. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not exactly these players,
Awoni,
but
Taiwo Awoni,
I, I,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly like and I'm winning a Solanke like just like towards like in the 50th or 60th when it's not really going your way, you make those changes. You bring on a fresh striker, or you even bring on another. You go with two attackers in because what he did. when he was chasing the game was he went with two false number nines, two withdrawn number tens or slash on Felix and Kuku. And it was quite funny because two of them actually got two fantastic chances to win the game for Chelsea. But Okuku, Christopher, Christo, who is a fantastic from the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper that was fantastic on the day. And vice versa. But also Sanchez also he came up tops for Chelsea today.
Well,
I feel
Felix header has to be on target. If
he
the keeper is
he
saving
should
it, oh, no problem, but it has to be on target.
exactly. I feel like the goalkeeper Sanchez came out on top for Chelsea this week, where like considering his mistakes last week, and he comes back this week where he's somewhat the man of the match because in that moments of the game he pulls out two fantastic saves. But back to Nottingham Forest, I feel what they did perfectly, and like you mentioned, Chelsea scored in the 68 minutes or
Yeah,
thereabout, and there was still a long time to
thanks
get
for
another
going.
goal. But I feel what they did well is how they managed the game and how they stop start the game in terms of you see players going down for injuries,
Yeah,
substitutions. They it's a masterclass in how you just in time wasting of how you kill the momentum, you kill the atmosphere, the crowd goes flat. Because after Chelsea scored, Chelsea looked like they could get one or two.
yeah.
But when you start going down, injuries, wasting time on goal kicks, you start to just deflate the game slowly, and the game just started time just started just going away. And Chelsea didn't have enough time to get the win on the day. But it's still a process with Chelsea where it's a learning experience. Okay, we're still building. But I feel so far with Chelsea, I still think so far I'll give the season
He's way
like I'll
ahead
give
of
it.
schedule to me. He's way.
I,
I pray he's not a victim of his success like Xavi was for Barcelona. Like even Flick,
well,
I don't like it when people overachieve. It's like Aston Villa. Let me give you an example. It's like Aston Villa, right? Let's assume they this is like let's say Unai, no, not forget Villa. Let's use Newcastle United for example. They don't qualify for Europe next season. They start talking about is he the right manager? Like people don't look at what the guy is doing because many. I said it before the season started. I said it at Chelsea. I expect top four finish from Chelsea. That doesn't mean if they don't finish out of top four, I won't look at the
yeah.
context. But he is way ahead of schedule. He's doing so well.
Yeah, because there's a lot going right, or there's a lot of the coach has brought to the football club corner of
The
the
only
pitch.
two things that takes time. Only two things is um ball. What is it? Dead ball, free kick, corner kicks, Cecil assist or same table.
Set pieces, yeah,
Set pieces, and then the second one is the pressing is not yet coordinated because he controls the game, but the pressing is not. But they will get. Let's quickly go to
they'll
Villa.
get there.
3 minutes for you. What do you have to one word for Manchester United with Johnny Evans, 36-year-old Johnny Evans, man of the match for the game. What do you have to say about United? Just so, what do you have to say about United? Don't go. Just
It's okay. Let's start with the lineup. So like, well, you're building. Everyone's building up to the game. Then the lineups come through. Then I took a glance at the lineup. I was like, wow. As I kept seeing the names, I was getting more surprised. What? And this is what happens when the manager is basically fighting for his job, or he's fighting for because ultimately he will lose his job. It's just a matter of time. I think he's just buying time, just like he's just staying. It's still of
and I think the
execution
players
basically.
know
Where
by now. I think they know.
yeah, because of course, because players are not stupid. They read it, they feel it, they sense it, they can see. Because there was a shot or during the game where he pans to the crowd and you see every senior member of Manchester United directorship present at this game. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is there. Sir James Belsford is there. Sporting director is there. CEO is there. Head of football recruitment is there. Sir Alex Ferguson is there. So it seems like everybody is there. I don't know if it's as a show of support for the Eric Ten Hag. The fact that he needs it is crazy to me. But it just feels like, but he goes with this lineup where if you told me Manchester United with Eric Ten Hag in the third season, we go away to Aston Villa and start a centre back partnership of Johnny Evans
Oh, well.
and and Harry Maguire, with Eriksen in midfield. I'd have
You
called
know,
you a fool.
he was after the game started. I realized what he wanted to do. That he wanted to play deep. He wanted to sit deep instead of
Yeah, yeah,
that.
just yeah, it's just no,
I didn't understand
it's
what he was.
just no, because I saw that I was like, okay, I understand what you're trying to do now. When you see deep, you don't
I
give
didn't
them
know
a lot of
that.
space. No,
Uh,
you don't give them a lot of space. You see very deep, and just hope that some of your players, Fernandez, I was shocked Fernandez started today because with his past couple of games
I
and the
think
red card, I
mentally
feel like
he's not. Some players,
exactly some players that
because
he's
he
just not
reminds
playing
me
where you.
so much about Scholes. I used to make fun of him growing up. That when he's under pressure, or things are not working. The kind of tackles Scholes used to do, you'll be wondering like, what are you thinking? Like you will know mentally.
That's
Gerrard does it sometimes. Lampard never did it when he was playing. It's hard for to you understand. He lost it. Fernandez does that. You look at that. His head is not right. I just feel that something is wrong under
you
pressure.
see him, like you see him like because he's a very emotional player and he leaves everything out on the pitch. But like he's taking shots, he's getting very emotional about the way he's going about his football in a very emotional way, which is then leading up to the sending off. So you can say some of them are fair or not, but it's still the overall action is not positive. But he goes with that centre back pairing in a way in hopes to kill the game, limit chances, limit the space for Aston Villa to attack with, and hope that a combination of Rasmus Højlund, Rashford, and Garnacho Fernandez they get something on the counter attack. But as I was watching the game, I was just like, oh, it's tough. I feel I don't know how United fans do because it's tough because you see. Oh, that's okay. No, you go away, you see deep, then you counter. That's a fairly good plan. But the overall quality or the individual quality of these attacking players, Rasmus, starting Højlund, his touch was off. He is still like he's playing like a striker that's learning to he's learning the role in real time
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
as a lone centre forward in Premier League where he doesn't quite know sometimes when to hold the ball up and just as something as get the ball
He
and just
is
pass it.
he is
He's still
this is not being fair. This is not being fair. But I just want to give a little. I'm being extremist. I'm being extreme saying this, but he. When I watch him, it reminds me so much of Amadou Diallo when he joined United. You could know that he's off. You know Diallo. Garnacho, I never felt he was off from the first day I watched his debut. He seemed ready. Rashford, I never felt he was off. He seemed ready, right?
he's still ready from
So,
the yeah.
yeah, those Southampton guys in that generation, that Lalana, what was
No,
the
no,
name,
no,
Luke Shaw. I didn't see them.
Luke
They were
Shaw,
just ready for.
yeah.
I'm thinking of I knew was so rough. Essien from the first I saw him in Chelsea was ready. I'm just thinking about who was his socks. Lukaku was awful. He couldn't trap the ball, but he was scoring goals. I'm thinking of a player that was successful later on. I can't think of somebody
No,
that.
no,
But you
no,
understand
no,
what I'm trying to say? That,
I
but
understand,
you know
but
he's
like
off. Yeah,
it's important you said, like it's important you mentioned Lukaku and what we saw Lukaku when Lukaku was on loan at West Brom when he still had the long hair, big head, and was still was, but he was very athletic. He was very
yes,
fast.
very very physical. Yeah, 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 yeah.
He bullied a lot of centre backs when he was at West Brom. I think he was very and Lukaku. Whenever he gives just Lukaku just needs a sight at goal and he finishes quite well. But I feel Holland doesn't play to his best strength, and that is his physical strength. Where
He reminds me. I
he's a
remember Koscielny. Koscielny was like that.
mm,
When he first joined, I remember
he was
because
rash.
they
He was
had
very. It
Joru, they
was
had Joru, they had Senderos. They were off. They were not successful. Koscielny was successful. He wasn't rough. Coquelin was very rough. I just feel he wasn't good enough. They had Paulista. Paulista was off. I felt he wasn't good enough. But Koscielny was a success to me. He wasn't the best player. Chesney was also like that, but for goalkeeping, but they were miles off. But I'm thinking United for this player, and if I check how many years he played for Atlanta, I don't think he played for long.
but like and the thing with this, because like with this specific striker, Rasmus Højlund is a striker I've seen, that I've watched on my local team I follow here, FC Copenhagen, where he breaks into the FC Copenhagen team, but he doesn't really make an impact. He's in recent years we've seen a lot of players come out from Denmark, Danish league, and they've gone on to succeed in other places in the Premier League, Championship, in Portuguese and so on and so forth. But Højlund is the one player that's come out from, I think one player that's come out from the Danish league that has gone on to big clubs that did score a single goal in the Danish league.
Hmm.
He did score once, and also it's important to add like he didn't get a lot of stats, but he didn't really like whenever he came on, he was always like he came on as he always he came off the bench and he was always he's strong, but he doesn't know how to impact games or get into games where he's bringing the ball down, he holds up the ball either somewhere in midfield or somewhere in the middle of the pitch where he gets the ball, lays it off to a winger or centre back and just makes that two runs in box. But one thing he does very well and I like is he knows how to get it. He always gets his shots off well. He shoots very well. Left foot, right foot. He shoots very well. He's a very
But
he
what if
moves.
they got somebody who's a better striker and just play him in cup games and maybe Europa League?
No, no,
He
no,
does it
but the solution, no,
for like
no,
1 year, 2 years, and he will be ready
but
because they are putting him on a
no,
lot of pressure. They are going to start judging him, and we
I
don't know
know.
if it will be a success. You understand what I'm
No,
trying to say?
but I also feel like a better manager will find a solution to, or you find a system where because like most times you get two players where one striker has the skill set the other striker doesn't have, and when you put those two together, they form a partnership, and they call it White York, where they play off each other's strengths and cover each other's weaknesses. And it's a situation where the long term solution to get the best because it's not just Rasmus Højlund, even the new
But
Dutch striker, the new
yeah,
Dutch striker is struggling as well. Is there a way where you play two of them together if you have to go three at the back, two in midfield, and you go wing backs, you play Bruno Fernandes in midfield, then you play two strikers.
but
And see, because United they have a goal scoring problem.
but
They've
this
only
is
scored
but
five
this
goals
is
in the
why
Premier
this
League.
I get you. But let me revisit something. We are spending so much time on United. Let me just revisit something one last time. This is where I have a problem with you when you criticize Fernandez. I just thought something in my head. And this is why I would never ever criticize Fernandez. I'm not saying he's the best, but I'm saying I have to be real. When I watch my United play, so many times I'm so angry at Rashford. That guy is selfish. When I mean selfish, don't get me wrong, Garnacho is selfish, yes. But Rashford, I've watched him. He hardly even gives the striker the ball.
That's
If
true. That's true.
Fernandez is not there, that guy might not touch the ball in 90 minutes. You get point.
Yeah, it's that.
Fernandez is the
Yeah,
only
that's
one
very
that
true.
tries to feed him. If Diallo is there, Diallo tries to feed him sometimes. But Fernandez is the only one.
But
Rashford feeds
don't you
himself.
think?
He wants to go alone. So I'm thinking
But
that system doesn't suit him. Like, I don't understand. Yeah,
don't you think that's coaching though?
that's coaching. It's coaching. It's coaching.
So
Because if you have
it's
Rashford striking here, you have Garnacho striking here. He depends only on Fernandez feeding him because Meno does, but Meno runs with the ball, and maybe that's why he plays Ericsson because you now have Ericsson and Fernandez. These are the only two people that feeds him. He's isolated, and that's coaching.
yeah. So like I feel with a better tactical coach. I'm not about results, but I feel we set up this team in a way that gets the best out of certain players. Because if you look at United players, where Garnacho was terrible, was poor
So
today. He's
they're not
touching,
as bad. They are not
passing.
as bad as a result. That's that.
So,
United is coaching.
so,
You can't tell me
so
these
I feel
players
like
are that bad.
it's just it's coaching where, and again, and this is where I'm very worried where if it's a brain trust of Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, CEO from Manchester City, Omar Barada.
Brother.
If they've had an honest review of Ten Hag's coaching in the last 6 months, and you're still in this phase where you're still giving him benefit of doubt or giving him a bit of time. For me, that is very worrying because
That's very
these
worrying.
are
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
these are very smart people that communicate well. They know the
I
business.
start
Like
thinking, do you really know what you're doing? It just doesn't make sense.
no, because it's just like in terms of the overall from the communication aspect, it's where they communicated the whole structure, the whole decision making, keeping this guy. It's just poor. It's just so poor. And for United fan, I'm asking questions. Okay, who's really in charge here? Who's really directing this club forward? Because if I'm a sporting director and I see that line now, and I see your summer signings are all on the bench. Now all on the bench. Ugarte on the bench. Matthias Delete on the bench. Casemiro is still there. It's on the bench. The only one Dutch striker
Zexi. Zexi.
Zexi on the bench. The only summer signing that started was right back Mazraoui.
Mazraoui.
Started at right back with Dallo still playing at left back. So you played the majority of this season with a right back playing left back,
I
which
don't get
also
and
is also
he have Telesia or whatever.
it's also affected his game. But if I'm seeing a 36-year-old John Evans winning man of the match against Aston Villa for Manchester United in 2024 with almost about 60 million worth of defensive talent that you've signed on the bench, that is worrying. That's because okay, I understand. Okay, you need to fight for your job. You get a result here, you save it. But what is the overall plan going forward?
Hold on. I'll end this. Let's just move on. I'll just end this with one statement. For you to realize how bad United is, Manchester United signed an international Turkish goalkeeper. Was he from Fenerbahce? And Fenerbahce sold him and had to go and buy the number one goalkeeper of Croatia. I forgot his name. I forgot if it's Dinamo Zagreb. That tells Livakovic or what? That tells you how they wanted to replace him. Since that guy has been in Man, you have never seen that guy in goal for one. I don't know what. Maybe
I've only seen him twice.
Onana has always played cup games. So and they signed it like 10 million. You know what 10 million is for a goalkeeper? Then why didn't you use your academy player? So that tells me that I don't know.
No, but I think it's also like I feel Aston Villa is also a team. Like I said, they look like a team that had a big game in Europe this week where they played Bayern Munich. A lot of efforts, a lot of running, a lot of mental effort went into that game. So they didn't look the freshest today. And with a few injuries to John McGinn, Onana, and so they didn't have enough ideas to break down this Manchester United team. But before we go, there's also Ten Hag after the game. He said this is his statement. He was impressed with United's display against Aston Villa. He said this is our fourth clean sheet this season. You can see we are it's a very good organization and togetherness.
He speaks like a politician. I don't know. He doesn't speak like a coach.
So
you know how politicians do. They spin
I know.
words like.
So if Ten Hag can sit on the bench and watch his team this last week and say very good organization and togetherness, then that is scary. But did you see the video of Van Nistelrooy on the bench talking with Ten Hag?
No.
You listened?
No. They said I heard somewhere that he's considering if he's offered to reject the job because that he doesn't want to be seen like betraying Ten Hag.
But that's what I'm saying in terms of the overall
because
sporting
he
dictatorship.
accused the Dutch coach, the assistant coaches in PSV. I will want to know who was that. You remember that he had a problem with PSV. He resigned so he accused them, the assistant coaches, of going behind him to plan with that's still rumor that he won't take the job. I'm like, I don't know. Whatever.
But I feel, but also feel it goes back to the point I had about the overall club structure, where whose decision was it to bring Van Nistelrooy to the club?
And they brought Benny McCarthy, right? One time. He's
left.
But they brought him. Well, is it not Manchester United?
Yeah,
so he spent only one season. So you keep changing assistant managers for the coach, like
two seasons. I think 2 seasons. But it's also like I don't like. It's also good to say, like you said, like the point about him without having rejected the job. I doubt if they offer Van Nistelrooy the job, Manchester United job, he will say no because that's
it's going to be
once a lifetime opportunity.
But if I'm Ten Hag, I won't be angry for the man. I don't know why when I don't think coaches should be angry when the assistants except that guy has to progress in it. You know how many coaches
I know,
that have been successful because they were assistants.
I know, but like it's for me, it just looks like another AVB and the Mateo situation where this coach you bring in this coach, he brings in a club legend to the team to join his coaching staff. Things go badly. That you get sacked, but that club legend goes on to become the head coach for an interim basis and succeeds with the Chelsea's case. But this,
If I'm
but in this
United,
case,
I'm sacking. I'm getting Van Nistelrooy. I don't, because it might be too short to go and get another coach. But with Van Nistelrooy having managed PSV, I understand it's not the same side. I understand it's not the same team. But I'm just getting him and bleeding it till end of the season. Then I decide on what to do. Except I'm going on relegation. I'm not, because it's an
but,
insider.
but I know, but again, this is 7 games into the season. I feel at this point that if you're Manchester United and you've had the preseason you've had, you shouldn't be in this position where
No,
you're
they messed it up.
where
They butchered it.
it's a big mess of but I think that's enough for us
Let's
on
go.
United.
I'm letting you talk for Tottenham. So Tottenham they led 2-0 and then they lost to Minte and Co for Brighton. What do you have to say about that?
As one of my favorite Italian defenders to say, Giorgio Chiellini is is the spirit of the Tottenham. It
Oh,
is the spirit.
did they lose?
It is the
No, I
spirit of
think
the.
Tottenham beat them one. Then the next day they beat Tottenham. Right.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, I think
The
Tottenham
time
were
Tottenham went to the
leading.
final, they beat Juve under
No, no,
Pochettino.
no, 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 no. They didn't. Tottenham. Listen, Juve knocked them out.
But I
I
think
remember
Tottenham won
that.
the first leg. Something must have happened. Or
Tottenham,
Tottenham went ahead.
Tottenham won the first leg in Turin, but I think they lost the second leg with 2 late goals in the second leg. Higuain and Dybala, if I remember correctly.
I
But
feel
after the
Tottenham
game,
problem is from the head. The fish rots from the head. I think
no,
they
no,
upgrade this. Yeah. Yeah.
it's spiritual. Because, like, cause, no,
You,
it's
you
some,
spiritual.
it's, no, no, it's spiritual, because the problem with Tottenham is this result does not surprise. Does it surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Okay,
But how come it
it
happens
doesn't
under
surprise.
every coach? From Mourinho
No,
to Conte,
okay, it
everyone.
doesn't
What
surprise
is
me
wrong
that
with the club?
it doesn't surprise me because I was watching the game. Okay, it's because it's one of those games. Okay, now last game of the weekend. Okay, let me hope for Tottenham to drop points to get a successful hate watch. Okay, I see that. I see that I'm locked in. Tottenham, they start fantastically. The first 10, 15, amazing football. High press, winning a lot of turnovers, creating chances. Madison, Solanke, Johnson, they were all fantastic. Centre backs were good. Udoji was good. First 20 minutes, they were fantastic. They were playing champagne football. They were playing like prime Barcelona, where the press was working, the passes, the one touch, everything was going. They go 2 goals up from good finish from Johnson, who's got six goals in
Oh
six
yeah.
games after
Also,
he had
I
after he had,
I don't like it when they lose. I like for the first time I like so many players in Tottenham. They are young, they are
I
quiet.
I
Johnson,
I don't
Timo
I
Werner,
don't
I
care.
like Timo Werner. I like Timo Werner.
I
I like. Are
I'm
you
quite the
serious?
opposite. So Johnson gets the first goal. That's the 6 goal in 6 games in all competitions. This is just I know that he got a lot of negative and some nasty
Yeah, he was
comments
bad.
under his social
Yeah.
media, but this is one of those situations where you can see sometimes if
So wait.
so
But he scored a goal. He scored a goal
yeah,
today. And
it's called, but but sometimes bullying works sometimes.
oh, okay, I understand what you say. As regards him,
Like
but that
you
he's been
have,
scoring consistently now. I don't. And he
yeah,
said he deleted the social media account.
yeah, this is social media because of other nonsense and something we don't condone on this platform. But
Yeah.
sometimes bullying works.
Mm.
So then Madison gets a goal where I feel the keeper should have done better. Then you go in. Then they had other chances where they could have scored the third goal and you kill the game. But they go in halftime 2-0. Then they come back for the Tottenham show
But
in the second
how
half.
did those defenders? How did is it Van der Vliet? How do you pronounce his name?
Van der Ven.
How
Yeah,
did he leave? Is it Minte? Because Udoji
no.
missed him. Udoji missed him. How did he leave him for the first goal for Brighton?
No, I feel it's getting to a point where we have to just address it, whether if it's a structural problem or if it's
No,
just a
no,
it's just
it's a structural problem.
no. I know there's a structural problem, but we can also just say this backline they're just not good.
No,
Like,
first of all, I have a problem with the lineup. I don't care what you tell me, Kukulevsky or whatever. It's not a midfielder. Why
but
is
he
he not
plays,
playing Bizoma with Bentacore or Pepesa? I don't know why. Because first of
but
all,
that's
you need
when you
stability in that. I don't know
But he
why
helped them.
he's
But he
overloading the
played.
offensive players. You get what I'm
But they
saying?
played well.
Yeah, they
So
play.
I
They've been
feel
playing well.
like I feel like Koscielny, he was part of was one of the bright sparks in the first half where they play well. You see, the first half. You watch that first half, and you say if you show somebody that doesn't follow the game, you show him this is the first half. You see that performance, and you tell him this team playing this well, they
Oh,
lose this game
yeah,
by
yeah,
three
yeah,
goals
yeah.
to two.
You won't believe it.
It will make sense. And the way okay, you see, like I'm looking at the statistics now. Tottenham only have 5 clean sheets in the last 47 games.
Jesus Christ.
Only 5 clean sheets. So it's
Yeah.
it's a catalog of mistakes, lack of concentration. It's just and
And
you
this is
just look
second
at it
season.
is this is second season, but it's just also there's some blame I'll give Ange Postecoglou, the coach,
Ange,
but
who are we talking about? It's too.
I don't no, but the players like certain mistakes you can't just legislate for, like Udoji's mistake for the first goal. This is a similarly young, promising defender. I know the ball bounces awkwardly, but you should be dealing with that ball at this level. You can't be at the Premier League and making those mistakes in your box against a team like Brentford, like Brighton that have quality attacking players. You can't make those mistakes. So you make that mistake, you make that mistake, they bring it back to 2-1. Okay, this is where I want my manager now to manage the game.
Game,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
saw like we saw Nottingham Forest where first is scored. Nottingham they started killing the game. Injuries, substitutions, fouls, they were just killing the game. But after Brighton got that goal, it was just Brighton from there on. There was no intervention from the bench or the coach. There was no leadership on the pitch. And there's one player I'll look specifically at. I'll get to him very soon. There was nobody getting on the ball, either winning the ball back, making tackles, getting the ball back, just getting control of the game,
Mhm.
or even just keeping the ball. Every time they got the ball, they were giving it away. They were just it's like you see, I'll get the ball. Yeah, you go, you have the ball. Mitoma started playing more. Stupian came on in the second half. They start to link up. They start to attack down the flank. Danny Welbeck for another fantastic performance from Danny Welbeck today. He starts
He's
getting
having a
touches on the
very
ball.
good season. This might be
He
the
starts
best
getting
season of his career. He's having a very good season.
yeah, I feel so. He's some like he's getting I feel he's looking like he's like a complete forward now
Yeah.
where he can be the target man, he can be the poacher, he's also the build up man, the build up striker he can build off. So he gets the second goal from Jorginho Ruta where brilliant finish, brilliant combination play with Thomas Welbeck and Ruta. The finishes
And
well.
being someone that did score
Okay,
in Leeds United, that's when you know that sometimes players are not that bad. It's just management.
yeah, yeah, and sometimes it just also time. Some players also
Yeah.
need time to grow into that level. They go 2-2. Okay, again, you look at the same things. Coaching, you manage a game, make substitutions, but it doesn't happen. And I feel the third goal is a goal that just summarizes Tottenham as a football club, as an enterprise, as a record label, as an establishment, and as a society. Because I feel if you're a Tottenham fan and you're part of that society, that's on
Mhm.
you. Where it's just this bad decision after bad decision. Where I can't remember. I think it's Udogi. I feel after made that mistake, he's rattled. He's not in the right
Mhm.
space of mind. He fails to clear the ball. The ball goes into the box, or the cross goes into the box, and the ball is right there. This is what you expect a player like Benteke who's been played games for Juve, played games for Tottenham, has a bit of experience, a bit of know. South America, you expect a certain level of understanding of the game. If that when that ball goes into the box, you kick it out for a corner kick, then you
Mhm.
reset, you get everybody in shape, then you go from there. But he hesitates to get to the ball, and Jorginho Ruta just gets there before him and chips it over for Welbeck, who has the easiest goal he will probably score this season, and boom, 3-2. Then Ange, when they ultimately go down, it go down. Ange then decides to start making changes. That's when he brings up Basuma and Papa Metesa. But
Oh
by
yeah,
then the game is already done.
go down. What that you are supposed to bring them on way to preserve your lead.
Exactly. So it's just you go so all this so you lose that game, but you can't really get back into the game because I feel the players coming off the bench, especially like attacking players, they bring on 18-year-old academy player, I think 18 or 17, Mickey Moore, who's they have high hopes for him as Spurs, but it's not this is high level where if you see the players where the players Brighton are bringing off that bench, they're bringing on good players that have good experience in the Premier League. or young, exciting players, but they also come into a team that understand what they're doing. And I feel, for me, I feel manager of the week, I'll give it to Fabian Husseler, where because it's very tough. Because he said like it's not about when they went in at halftime. It wasn't just about tactics because you're playing badly at home. You're 2-0 down, coming off the result you got last week at Chelsea.
Mhm.
It could get bad.
Yeah.
But he found a way to motivate and change some things tactically and get that team firing in that second half. And and for me that's coaching. That's where you understand what needs to be done, not just from the tactical perspective, but also from a mental perspective and just getting your players up for the fight again in the second half because you've been badly beaten that first half, but you can still go out there and you can change it in your favor. And this is where I look at Ange and in a way where at some point something has to give between this club and this manager. Where Ange feels when he made that statement where I don't, something I always win in my second year at a club or something like that. And you're at this club that's notorious for not winning, so something has to give.
You
Are
know,
you?
I
Is
think
it?
in American football, Ange can be a head coach. He should just be an offensive coordinator, like just
So
coordinate the
it's
offense.
no,
Like
no, and then after the game, he says this is the worst defeat we've had since I've been here. It's unacceptable. And for me, he says this is the worst defeat, but I can think about
no,
two or three from last
I don't
season.
know. I don't know where. Maybe he wasn't there last season. Maybe he
No,
was another coach. We have to
I can
check.
think of two.
We have
I
to
can
check
think
the
of
list.
two of. I
Chelsea
can
beat
think of
them
two
like
or three.
four. Was it 5-1 or something like? It was
No, right.
really.
In terms of the overall performance, I can
Towards the
think
end
of
of the
two.
season, they
Like
fell off. When I mean fell
it
off
was,
completely.
yeah. So it's like I think of the game against Newcastle last season where they get absolutely battered away at Newcastle. So it's I think for Tottenham, it's just, and I'll narrow it down to one player, a player you love,
Madison.
Madison.
No, no.
You know,
I've aligned with you right now. I've seen what you were talking about.
it's,
You always nailed it because I looked
it's
at it like there's nothing. This guy, he was in Norwich. He had the same problem. He moved to Leicester. The same problem. No. You can't be flashy when you want to be flashy.
so like you see Madison, like we saw Tottenham last week. They go away to United. We all know United's issues. They get a fantastic performance, fantastic win. Everything is good, but does this result? I know it's the Premier League where a lot of things are every week is different. There's a lot of tough tough places to go in the Premier League. But for me, this just highlights United's problems massively, where you play this Tottenham team, but they keep a clean sheet. One of the 5 clean sheets in the last 46 games was last week against United. And this
United had chances in that game.
yeah, so but with this, but again, back to Madison, where this is if this was Chelsea or this was Arsenal or Man City, where okay, you're playing fantastic, you're back two, they probably go back 2-1. I want Foden to get on the ball. I want Foden, Gundogan, De Bruyne has to get on the ball. Palmer, Saka has to get on the ball. Just to start conducting the team again, get the team firing again. Because at that point, your heads go down. But you want something like something as simple as a nice dribble or a nice pass, a nice cross. You create something, you get the players up again. Then you start to control the game from there. But I feel Madison is a player that the harder the occasion, he he just hides.
Mm.
And I hate saying and I hate characterizing a player like where I feel he hides, because Madison is an overall a fantastic player. But this is where you see the difference, and this is where you see a player that's been at Leicester for a while, and then ultimately a few big clubs passed on him, standing for quite a reasonable few last season, where
Yeah.
look at his record, look at his injury record as well. And his overall, if you look at his overall seasons, where he has bright spots where he's fantastic. Sometimes even player of the season at a point. But then he gets like last season, he gets an injury and he comes back at the back end of last season and he's just down. He can't get back to that. He can't find his level again, and the team suffers for it because he's meant to be the talisman of this team. He's meant to be the conductor, the orchestrator of that team. But it's just, I feel, and this is another game where it's gotten tough for Tottenham, and they just melt. They just melt away to the opposition. So I know like there'll be a lot of discussion about how there'll be a lot of inquest into this game. But I feel this is a performance we've seen from Tottenham in the past,
Yeah, and it will
and
continue to occur.
we'll see it again for going forward. And it's just it's just a reminder to always like if you see run what a good player is, what a good performance is. Because last week Van der Ven was getting a lot of plaudits for his performance last week. Like even some going as far as saying, "Oh, he's one of the best centre backs in Premier League." Romero gets a lot of positive praise for I don't really understand because I don't think he's a good defender.
No, I don't.
He's
I
a
don't
very
like it. I don't like it.
he's a
Apart
he
from,
has the make
since I
he
started
has the
watching
makings.
football, the only good, maybe it's I would think the only good defender Tottenham had, but it's just that he had a ceiling. He never went more than above the ceiling, but he had a ceiling. It was Ledley King. I can't remember any
No, but
other.
they,
They
no,
had
no, no, no,
Doughty.
but they,
They had
no,
Adavaran.
no,
They had
no,
Ventok.
they had
Those guys
no,
always.
no, they had Ventog, they had Ventog and Alderweireld. Those
Yeah,
two
but
were
they,
solid
they were
partnership for.
solid, but they were. Well, everybody
It's
has a bad game, though.
but but with Tottenham, it's not just for with, and I know Tottenham fans they might not say it, but it's just they will have this feeling of just like how the hell does this club reach that level we're trying to reach where sometimes you can play well for 45 minutes and play so poorly for the next 45. And it's not just, you can't, like, sometimes you can say you can have a one-off performance. It's not just a one-off performance. It's a performance where everyone can say, until Tottenham can be winning 2-3-0, but until that whistle has been blown for the final whistle,
Yeah, you never. Yeah,
they
yeah,
can always lose or draw points in that game. Everybody that follows Tottenham closely, they all know this. And I feel it's that's why I say it's spiritual. So I feel it's gone from beyond the board. It's gone to the bones of the players. The players know this. Where if you if something just happens and if it's happening again, you freeze. You don't know
they
how to
give up.
react. So it's I feel it's tough, but no, but I think credit to Brighton. They look like this. They look like a good team with
Yeah,
a
they
team
can
that
only get better next season and join
yeah.
the
No, but
likes
even
of.
this season, I feel this season like so far they're looking like they can challenge for European places this year with this the new coach. But it's fantastic job so far.
Okay, that should be all for today. Join us again next week. For our viewers, if you like what we are doing, please subscribe, comment, smash the like button, and join us again for next week during the international break.
Okay,
Okay, thank
okay,
you very
thank you.
much. Have a good
All
one.
right, bye guys,
Bye
bye.
bye. Okay.